What up, though? My afro. It's your boy Tone 202. I'm on some chill. I'm listening to Chill Cow right now. You guys can't hear it, can you? Nah. I'm about to turn it down. What? Anyways, so I got a couple comments. Some cats wanting to chat it up a little bit. Me throwing my own Chill Cow, which is lo-fi beats. You know, I'm trying to make beats, y'all. So yeah, uh, wanted to talk about game two. So somebody commented and said, "Yo, Golden State, game two. Golden State loses game two, wins game. Golden State loses game two, wins game. Shoot. Say Golden State wins game. Loses game two. Golden State wins a series. I'm like, all right, that sounds fair. I'll take that for $1. I don't watch the games, so for some of you who are into the games like that, I don't really pay much attention. I don't watch them, but I am more than happy to hear about what happens. You guys keep me informed. I'm with that all day. That type of hype. I stopped watching the NBA probably 40. Let's see. Yeah, almost 40 years ago. I stopped really watching it. It's a long time ago. It just didn't interest me at all. But like I said, for you chill brothers and sisters who like to watch it, let me know what you think. You know what I'm saying? Tell you right now, I really don't care, but I got a couple dollars on the game. I got a couple dollars on the game. I got a couple dollars on the game, so I care a little bit, tiny bit. I might win a few bucks. I'm all about that. I'm about that. Winning a few dollars. You know what I'm saying? Can a brother win some money up in this money? Can a brother win some moolah up in this piece? I think I got a whole sum of like 35, 40, 45, 50. I just took another bet for $20. So I have a decent amount on the game. You know what I'm saying? I have a fairly decent amount. Oh my goodness! What are you building? Giving them fits. Giving them fits. Yeah, so anyway, nobody's on. Nobody is on. Nobody wants. Do you wanna talk to me? Nobody wants to talk to me. I get that sometimes. I'm not mad about that. I get it. You guys are busy. You guys are busy. Not really looking to chat it up right now. Nobody wants to chat right now. Sweet Lord. Nobody wants to chat right now. But yeah. Nobody's chatting it up. Nobody's chatting it up. Hey, any hoozle. Just wanted to tell you guys what I thought about the games. I think all the games are fixed. I shall. I think all the games are sure enough fixed. Sure enough. And I think if you're gonna make a bet on the games, you have to understand the fix. Some of you guys might not understand the fix. And that's why you might wander to my channel so I can illustrate the fix. Next on The Fix! Anyway, so I can inform you guys how the NBA and the NFL are fixed, because they are. And I don't know, you guys might come over here just to get a better understanding. And that's fair. I give great understandings. And yeah. So let's talk about it. Nobody's here, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So you go ahead and comment on what I think about the Kawhi Leonard development. Can we say that? Can we say development? It's a development. Do I think that Kawhi Leonard is a stable ball player? Do I think that he is one of the greats, like Max Ellerman? Max Ellerman! Everybody's great, Max! Max Ellerman. Max! Come on, Max! Kawhi isn't one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Max. Alright, cut it short. Now, what he probably is, being that LeBron is not playing, Kawhi's up there in the top 5. You know what I'm saying? He's in the top 5. Who's playing now? But he isn't the greatest. I mean, come on, bro. The greatest, though? He's the greatest all of a sudden? Nah, I'm not having that. Is he dope? Yes. Is he the greatest? Nah, McGillicuddy. Would I want him on my squad, on my fantasy squad? Absolutely. He's Mr. Clutch. Yeah, I'd want him on my fantasy squad. Executely. 100%. I'd want him now. I wouldn't have wanted him last year. Nah, bro. Last year? Nah, bro. No. Nah, bro. Not last year. Because what you was doing last year was foul. I wasn't with none of that. This year, okay, but last year, Kawhi, nah. That's what I will say. Here's what I will say about Kawhi. He's got everybody thinking that, for one, he's that deal. Not a problem. But you know what else is wrong with Kawhi? He's gonna hand Canada their hat. He is. Everybody knows this. He's gonna hurt Canada. He is. I'm sorry, you guys. Why he's gonna hurt your feelings? He's gonna be like the woman that left you, and he's gonna be the woman who left you without telling you why. You know what Canada's gonna have? Here's what Canada's gonna have. Here's what Canada's gonna have. I'm telling you what they're gonna have. They're gonna have non-closure. You know how, I mean, do you know how, you just want to ask that chick, why? Why, Kawhi? Don't you just want to ask her, was there anything I could have done? Just so she can tell you, absolutely no. I was going to leave. I was going to leave. And you're just like, wait, what? She just lets you know, I was gonna leave you anyway. But there's nothing you could have done to make the situation better. I was leaving. I'm just that girl. I don't stick around. I'm sorry, you guys. Kawhi's just that girl. I'm not calling him a girl. I'm saying it's just that relationship. Kawhi's he's just that relationship. Sorry, he is. He's that. I mean, he's just that relationship. It's like, oh, God. And you're just stuck. You know, you're just stuck for years. You're stuck on why? What? Go. What? You. That's what's going to happen in Canada. And I'm going to tell you something else. Because there's so many of you listening to me right now, which there's actually none. I'm going to tell you something else. I'm just going to tell you guys, since I have a massive audience right now. I'm just going to tell you this. I'm going to just reveal this truth to you. But I hope you guys from Canada take this and go, you know what? You know what, Tone? You know what, Tone? Not only could you be right, I'm going to just go ahead out on a limb and say, big dog. I'm going to just say, big dog, big Tone, big diggity dog nuts, big dog diggle. I'm gonna just let you guys know this. I'll whisper it to you. Kawhi doesn't care about Canada. He doesn't! I'm sorry, that was loud. Kawhi doesn't care about Canada. Kawhi doesn't give a fruit of the loom about Canada. I don't care about Canada. Kawhi's going Canada. Kawhi's going A. Canada, A, Canada, A. That's what Kawhi's doing. He's going, I don't care. I'm not staying. And then there's the question of why, Kawhi? Why will you not stay? Why will you not stay, Kawhi? Why won't you stay with us, Kawhi? Why, Leonard? Why won't you stay? Come on. Kill it, 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 and everything he has. And them too. Get ready to jump. Kawhi doesn't care about Canada. But you know who cares about Canada? Drake. The sixth god. He cares about Canada. Drake says Canada's a great place to be. What is the Canadian national anthem? Oh, Canada. What is it? It's like, is it the jam though? Is the Canadian national anthem the jam? Is it like, oh Canada, I've been in Canada, I've been in Canada, I'm in Canada. Oh, here's a Canadian, Mercedes, Canadian, alien, Australian, Canadian, I put a pain in this way that I've been in the stadium, alien, getting my palladium, I'm poisonous, I'm trying to do why you're poisonous, or we enjoying it, my con, we exploiting it, my con, son, you annoying it, I can't rap at all, I put a song about to snap at all, I'm in the I don't cap at all. I tell the truth, Sonny Jam. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Put it down like that. Yeah. I put it down like that. I put it. I put it. baby. Oh, Canada. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, let's hear it one time for Canada. What up, dog? What up? What it be like, dog? What up? Canada be easy for sheezy, my easy. It's easy like George and Wheezy. We stay summer soft, easy breezy. Y'all don't see me. Ooh, oh, baby, yeah, yeah. I like to shout out to the Drake God. I'm in the counter for the state God. I'm in the bottom for the Bay God. I'm in the bottom of the day. Do dibble do. Dabble boo bibble bo. Lemon like a bibble bo. Wibble wobble wibble whoa. Down with the jibber joe. Y'all don't know it. Be the baba dibba babo it. I need the nine know it. Hey, jibba jibba joe it. Yeah. That's how we do today. Yo, how you do today? What it do today? uh, 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 My bad. My bad. I was just getting my Drake on. Boom. Dabba 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 do. Yabba dabba dabba do. Baba 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 boo. Hit him with the abba ooh. Yeah, son. Dibble dab. Nibble 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 nap. Better take a scribble that. Ooh. Hit him with the jibble jab. Okay. Uh. 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 I do it enough times. I do it a few more times. Dibble dabble dibble dabble dibble dab. Tone. Hit him with a silver zone. You don't want to ever Kind of a river zone. That was it was our zibble. I was eating pie pipple. Y'all was on some mind nipple. Canada and the hizzle. Give it up, dude. Give it yap, you. Dab dip double do. I'm like the dip dip die. So social I'm all about the grind. Run up in the pie. You don't even know it. Right up in the sky. I was on some y'all was on some I was some shit. I'm with the mission. Listen, so I want experimentation, yo. I'm for real with it. I got me the hell in the hell did it. I don't how I gonna deal with it? Dip dabble do. Nibble nibble mabble move. I was on some apple ooh. Shabba wabba woo. Ooh. Oh, somebody's listening. I didn't think nobody's listening. My bad. Yeah, baby, baby. Can you just fire the dang things? I'll kill it. Okay. Uh. So anyway, Kawhi Leonard. He's gonna break their heart. It's breaking my heart. Kawhi's just gonna break people's hearts. It's just gonna bust your heart up. Just like that. You're gonna be like, why, Kawhi? Why you do me like that? Why you leave? Get it up! Kawhi gonna be like, because I never cared about Canada, yo. I'm not from there. I don't listen to the Canada anthem. Son, I don't care about the anthem, son. I don't care about the Canadian anthem. Son, do I look Canadian to you? What does a Canadian look like? What does a Canadian look like? And you know, what does a Canadian look like? Because, okay, here's what I'm saying. Here's all I'm saying. If Kawhi is like representing Canada, right? And they go to this international type of thing, because that's what they want to do. They want to go international. Here's my question. If they go international, right? If they go international, I mean, you're just hoping if they go international, then it's going to be, you know, and that's your bacon. You know, you're just hoping it's going to be people who are from that, you know, province, state, or whatever. What does a Canadian look like? Like, I'm serious. What do they look like? Are they all, you know, French-speaking Europeans? What does a true Canadian look like? I don't know. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what a true Canadian looks like. You assume that they're white people since, you know, Europeans conquered everything. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth, though. What does a Canadian look like? Anyway, so people were asking me about playing international ball. And they're like, do they feel that you know, to have the right to say world champion, should there be some international ball? Like the Olympics, should we have it all the time? I'm here to tell you that I don't know. I don't know. Should there be international ball every season? How many games would that entail? How many games? Shoot. I mean, when you're bringing international into it on a regular, on a regular basis. If you're gonna play international ball on a regular basis, you know what? Here's my thing. If we're gonna play international ball, I want to see some American Indians. I want to see, if we play Australia, I don't want to see a bunch of white people. If we play Africa, I don't want to see any white people. When we play France, Spain, I want to see wee, and I want to see some Espanol speaking people. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see this colloquial mixture of every team has to have the marquee of a black. No, I don't care. I don't care if you raided their country and now they live there. No, I want to see people who, when I went to France, first people I saw were black. You got to go deep into France to actually see white people who are less like the original, but they're not the original. Well, you know what I'm saying. The invaders. So I'm thinking if we're going to play international, I want to see I don't know what you think about that. I want to see people from Zurich, yeah. I want to see Lithuanians. Lithuania. They actually have a basketball league out there. That's where the Ball Brothers play, right? Lithuania. We're playing Lithuania today. I want to see some Transylvanians. It is a real place. Where Count Dracula's legend began. The legend of Count Dracula. But I do. I want to see some Lithuanians. I might watch. Like, I want to see some real Mexicans play. Like some real Patrick Lucci. You know what I'm saying? I want to see some real Montezuma's Revenge pop up like SA. But you know what? I would like to see them speak their own language. What is their language? What's the language of the Incas? I would love to see somebody like the original people from that land speaking their own dialect and nobody know what in the, you know, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knows what in the ziggurat going on. What the ziggurat did they just say? And they all know that, and then when you figure out what it is, it's like, oh, these guys are speaking ancient Melmac, you know, with a slash of, you know what I'm saying? These guys are speaking that speak some ancient lost language that only they held on to because the invaders pretty much raped them of everything else. They're like, no, we speaking our own. That this is the original dialect of the before the conquistadors came. This is the original dialect of the Taino Indians. Wouldn't you just love to hear that? How about the original dialect of the American Indian? Not be sickness. Are you gonna get done with that, buddy? Are you gonna? Because he's coming for us. Come on, 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 come on. Stannis is coming for us. Run. Yeah, I wanna see the ancient language of the. Just love to see some ancient stuff, man. Some original language before foreign invaders. Some Westerosi. I want to see somebody speaking Westerosi. I want to see somebody speaking Westerosi. That's what I want to see. Somebody speaking Game of Thrones. Anyways, I'm just chatting it up because nobody's here. Because I'm a chatty dude. Chatty dude. I don't feel like going outside. I'm not feeling well today. So, because I'm not feeling well, I'm kind of just chilling out. And I like to say hello to all my supporters who have been watching my channel, hanging out with the old dude. I appreciate all of you. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys. Also like to say to a couple of you that some of you are a little bit, some of you are a little aggressive. You guys are a little much. Some of you a little much. I don't know what's wrong with you. Some of you doing a little extra. Some of you guys are extra. Is that the term for it? You guys don't need to be extra. But, yeah. YouTube has been good to me as of late. And, yeah, a lot of fun. I've been on YouTube for 13 years. 09 or something like that. I've been on for a minute. Letting people know the deal. Hanging out with my fellow brethren. And, you know. What I'm saying? Letting people know the deal. Doing stuff. Doing stuff with my peoples. We do stuff. We do stuff, don't we? We do stuff. And, you know, yeah. So, oh, somebody's here. Hey, how's it going? Just rambling. Ain't really talking about anything. Ooh, ooh. When's the last time you guys had a bologna sandwich? Does anybody eat that anymore? I don't eat that anymore. hear Baloney had a first name? Uh, Baloney have a first name. It's, I don't know. What was it again? Baloney had a first name. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you bet on the games? Do you make any bets on the games? I want to know if any of you make any bets on the games. And if you do, have you won? Now, some people have actually won on my channel. Isn't that something? Come on in here and win all the money. I think it's pretty cool, though. But I don't suggest people do it because I don't want Guido. I don't want Guido mad at me because he lost the bet. Don't bother me, Guido. I don't want to hear it. It's not my fault. Guide. Guide. It's not my fault, Guide. I don't want Guido bothering me. Oh, somebody's actually talking. Guido! Guido! Oh, what up, Copper? Tell him what's good. Shoot, man, everything. NBA Finals, right? What's good? What's good? Robinson. Golden State wins tonight. I'm with you. I'm with you. I got Golden State winning tonight. Hopefully. Yeah, I got Golden State winning tonight. What up with you? Razzle, what's up with you? Big dog in the house? Big dog. I'm just chilling out, man. I'm gonna change this music though. I'm just chilling out. You guys having a good time? I've been a little under the weather. Yeah, man. Chilling, making music. Been under the weather. Oh, somebody just told me I talk too much. Really? They said I talk too much? You talk too much. I talk too much? Really? Getting ready for the game? That's what's up? Wait, I talk too much? Isn't that kind of my job to, as a YouTuber to talk a lot? That's why we're on YouTube. You talk too much. Get to the point. The answer lies in yeah, well. I'm just going to laugh at this person. Just fast forward. Yeah, it's time to fast forward. Yeah, getting ready for the game. I feel you. Getting ready to do the thing. So how do you get ready for the game? What do you munch on? What do you munch on? What's the like food for the like what's the grub? What's the grub for you know what I mean? What are we doing? We got some chips and dips. You know what I'm saying? Chips and dips up in here. Finger foods. Okay. Oh, okay, with the Corona. All right. I feel you with the Corona. You know, I don't know because I don't watch the games, and I don't, I don't, I don't drink beer. But I guess if I was gonna prepare for a game, I would probably do some chicken fingers. Probably make them myself. Dingers, wing dingers. I'll probably do some wing dingers. Some fries. Yeah. See, that's how I used to get ready for Game of Thrones. I used to cook dinner. I wait until the nighttime. You know what I'm saying? Well, it came on at 9 o'clock, but that's how I watched Game of Thrones. Oh, okay. You're really getting ready. You got the homies and homettes. Oh, shimalama ding dong. Excuse me. Okay. You're one of the guys. Walking to the bar and everybody knows your name. You're like cheers up in this mug. Where everybody knows your name. Ba, ba, ba. And they're always glad you came. We want to go where people go. Everything is all the same. We want to go where everybody knows your name. Do you walk in and everybody says your name? Everybody does one of these. Raise a cup to you. Do they raise a cup? Do you know the bartender and his kid? Listen to the bartender stories about his kid. Yeah, Joey doesn't listen. Decided he wanted to go to UNLV. I was like, Joey, what are you going to UNLV for? Kids. UNLV. UNLV. Joey thought he wanted to be a tiger or an Aggie. Joey doesn't want to be an Aggie. Come on, Joey. Do what your father did. Go to Boston. Boston State. Boston. Go to Boston, Southie, Boston. Yeah, man, that's what's up. Okay, so you really get ready for the game. Do you bring your chick with you? Is the missus in on it? Is it like a Home Depot thing? Remember the old Home Depot commercials? Guy would be sitting on the couch and the woman grab the keys. He'd be like, where you going? She'd be like, I'm going to Home Depot. And he'd be like, it's like, hells yeah, Home Depot. We were all about that back in the day. It was all about some Home Depot. Okay, I'm not even gonna do y'all like that. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. Throw that ill beat on you. I'm not gonna put that beat's too ill. It's too ill. I don't know if I should do that. I've been studying like lo-fi beats. So I've been trying to get my lo-fi on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do, man. Study music. Get my piano on. Yeah, man. So do you have the what is it? You have the wings. So you get the hot wings. I don't get hot wings. The little baby wingdingers. I don't get the hot ones. I either get the mild, regular. I don't like hot food, or I get the like just with some kind of sauce on it, maybe some BBQ barbecue sauce on it. Heck yeah. I wish you lived in my city. I would actually come and, I would actually come and join you, man. I haven't done that in so long. I'd watch the Steelers game in the sports bar every now and then. I'd probably do that. Get on out for a minute. See what the fuss is about. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Had to take some Theraflu today. Theraflu. It's good for you. It's good for me. Get yourself some $10 Theraflu. This Theraflu has Vapor Cool. If you don't know what Vapor Cool is, then don't get this product. As soon as you put it in your mouth, it has the, it's like Vicks. Gives you that, you know. This might put some of y'all to sleep. Okay. Oh, no. Nah, it's just too chill. It's too chill. This is like one of them study beats. Or this is like one of them driving beats. You can drive to it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't drive at night. So do you think that Kawhi was right? Not Kawhi. Do you think that Kyrie was right when he asked the? Well, yeah. Do I think the Earth is flat? Is that what you're asking me? I don't think the Earth is round. However, however, uh, let me say this: I'm not that type of scientist. But I'm not a scientist. I've never really looked deeply into it. There is a curvature in the Earth. No, Kawhi, he didn't say no. He said he believes that the Earth is flat. But I am not a flat earther. I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, when he was with the Cavs, and then they tried to convince him to say that it wasn't like the Earth is round. He was like, he's done with it because he's tired of y'all. So here's my take on it. Do I believe that the Earth is round? Absolutely not. I don't. I believe that the Earth has a roundness to it. Uh, but I don't. But do Okay? Do I believe that you could fall off the edge of the Earth? I do. I literally believe that you could go so far and fall off the planet. I think that the I think we're in a dome, and I get all this according to the Bible. So when I read the Bible, I get an understanding of what the earth is by just reading the Bible. Now, scripturally, the Bible tells you that the earth does not move. It says it right in the Bible. It says the earth does not move. Scripture teaches. Yeah, it does teach on it. It says the earth doesn't move. It says it's in one place and it doesn't move. So I don't believe that we're spinning 66 billion miles an hour and this is what creates gravity. I don't think so. Uh, I know for a fact that space, well, okay, so I watched this YouTube video where this guy was talking to another guy who worked for NASA. And when he approached him, he asked the dude, he approached old boy and he asked him, he said, Why is it that when the astronauts went into space, they almost drowned? And the guy didn't want to answer him. He looked afraid, actually. He was like, because the dude cornered him in like a Starbucks. He was in line and dude just walked him. I know you work for NASA. He was like, why is it when the astronauts went into space, they almost drowned? And he said, you guys tried to lie and said it was on their saliva, but you're not going to have a bunch of astronauts just all of a sudden drown on their saliva. He's like, what happened? Well, the truth is, what the Bible says is that, you know, there's an ocean above your head, and God even talked about, well, the Bible talks about when the earth was flooded, it said the heavens opened up. Uh, some people like to say, oh, that's a metaphor, or to say it just rained a lot, in the sky. No, it's literal. The heavens opened up and water came through that flooded the entire planet. Everywhere you go, there is a story, a depiction talking about the flood. That's not an accident, okay? And now we're finding out that there are underwater cities. There's cities under the sand, under these deserts and stuff. There's underwater cities. There's all kind of cities that are flooded, and you get a lot of these depiction from these movies that you see. Uh, you know, I went and saw Godzilla the other day. It was fantastic, and they even touched on it. And was really something in the movie Godzilla when they touched on it. They were talking about wormholes and vortexes, and one guy was in there talking about this was a vortex from one place to another and stuff like that. And all of that's true. Hitler was taught. Hitler and his scientists of the Bell, there was just a small group of them. They were investigating the ability to jump from one place to another. And in my videos, I've spoken about this. It doesn't get a lot of airplay, but nonetheless, I speak about how to build an engine that can do such a thing. Now, there's all kind of scientists who will pretty much look at my video and go, "You're probably on the right track," but I don't have the mathematical aptitude, but I have the common sense to say, if this can do this, this can do that. So that's kind of where I touch on it. Now, we know that the planet has been covered. We know it's been covered with people. We know that the planet a few times have been wiped out of almost its whole civilization, and it wasn't by meteors. We also know that, the Grand Canyon has pyramids, Egyptian pyramids, in the Grand Canyon that you can't go to. It's like, why can't we go see the Egyptian pyramids in the Grand Canyon? They're actually there. So there's a lot that they're not telling us. They don't want to tell us. They just want to keep us. Yo, what up? What up, Brooks? They just want to keep us, you know, get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep, watch TV, zone out. Don't worry about, without all the other things that are going on in the world. But the thing is, yeah, the Bible tells you all of these things. The Bible, the Bible, the Bible has been attacked on every end. Yeah, yeah. The Bible has been attacked on every end. You have people attacking the Bible all the time. You have all kind of people on video, people in music, people are just out there constantly berating the Bible, constantly trying to say this never happened, the Big Bang Theory and all this stuff, and it just happened just out of, and we just happen to be, and it's just all, yeah, yeah, but here's the problem when it comes to what's literal and what's not literal. Here's the problem. The problem with the Bible being literal and not literal is the simple fact that the Bible is a book of time. It is. It's a book of time. It's instructions on how to go from one place to another in more than one way. Okay? The Bible is a book of time. So when you read the Bible, okay, if you ever read Sun Tzu, The Art of War, you can apply what Sun Tzu said today. But this was somebody in the, I don't know what century it was, 16th, 15th century. Or, during the Ming or the Chow dynasty, in the 14th century or something like that. But nonetheless, people read it because they apply some of those things today. So some of those things they take literally. They're like, never outshine the master. That's something to take literally. Don't outshine the master. It's just a bad idea. You're going to get his attention or her attention. They're going to come for you and try to put you down. Now, the Bible has an eye for an eye. When you're talking about people who lived 2,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago is when the Bible was written. And you have the stories in the Bible that are past that. See, the Bible is not talking about just Jesus in the New Testament, because Jesus talks about how he doesn't come to change the law. The Bible is talking about God himself. So this is not talking about something that happened 2,000 years ago. This is something that's happened, and it's still happening. This is where people, get a little confused, because they think because it was written so long ago that it only applies to what's back there. No, no, no. The Bible's a book of time, meaning it encompasses time itself. If you look at the Bible and you start reading it, you're reading about a deity. You're reading about God who challenged all other gods. He didn't do that just with Pharaoh. He didn't do that just in one country. He did that everywhere. And he's constantly doing it. This is why he tells you to go out and preach the word, because he knows that there are people who believe in other gods. They believe in statues. They believe in other angels. They believe in demons. And it's an ongoing process to bring souls in and let them know that, Yahshua the Christ is Lord. This box is not God. This box is just the God. 2,000 years ago, pyramids, thousands of years ago, the Egyptians built the pyramids. Okay, for one, the Egyptians, something special. Okay, so let's get this together. The structure. Okay, so the structures of the pyramids, they weren't all, it would seem like they were all built at the same time. They weren't all built at the same time. They weren't all built by the same people. Not only that, there are pyramids pretty much on every continent. There's one in China that's literally underground. Literally. And it's the size of a mountain. It's huge. And there's an emperor who's buried in it, and they will not open the doors because the Europeans want to see what's in it, but they're just like, no, because this emperor said if you open his door, the world will be destroyed. You got to understand, there's a lot of tradition. Jesus said, either you hear my voice or you don't. My kingdom is not of this world. Exactly. My kingdom is not of this world. Uh, like I said, it's just speaking on the Bible, and it's just speaking on the Bible and Exodus. Okay. But like I said, the Bible covers the world. It covers world events. It talks about things that's going to happen now and in the future. It is a book of time, literally. Literally. So when you take uh, things into consideration, talking about the Bible, you have to understand that there are some things that are literal about the Bible. There are some things that were literal. The eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, they literally did that. Literally. But when the Lord, Yeshua the Christ, speaks and he says, uh, when he says, I didn't come to change the law, when he starts talking about, uh, uh, like when he talks about a woman, if you look at a woman and lust her, you committed adultery. See, because before he said that, you had men who would look like King David did. He looked at Bathsheba and he thought she was beautiful. And then he saw her taking a bath and he got excited. He was just like, I gotta have some of that. And then he lusted after her and he killed her husband. What about all the hold on a second. Hold on a second, you guys. I gotta what about all the missing hidden verses? All right, so hidden verses and the Vatican took out. Okay. For one, you're talking about the Vatican. Now, when we talk about the Vatican, we already know how criminal the Vatican is. We know that the Catholic organization is a criminal organization. It is not based on any truth at all, uh, other than they wanted power, and that's exactly what they have. You have right. They wanted power. We also know that they have pictures of Black Jesus that the Pope bows to and prays to. We know that they know the truth, in other words. But when during the Roman times, what the Vatican did, because they wanted money and because they were greedy and they wanted power, they made themselves out to be something that they were not. They made themselves to be holy. And they committed genocide to do it. So they wrote, I think, the Magna Carta. I think that's the name of it. But nonetheless, it was a pope who did this. The papacy has always been crooked. It was a pope who did this, and we also know that Caesar de Borgia, which is who everybody thinks is Jesus, the white dude with the. Well, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. They did not put together the modern Bible. Anyway, Caesar de Borgia is one of the Pope's sons. He's the blonde haired, blue eyed Jesus everybody thinks is Jesus. That's not Jesus. That's one of his sons, and he was a murderer and an adulterer. Now, the people who put together the Bible was the Council of Nicaea. There were 70 members, and they were in Eastern. They were in Eastern Rome. There were two Roman kingdoms, Western and Eastern. Western fell because they pissed off the Britons, and then Boudica came after them, and then they just got invaded by other people. They just weren't. They murdered too much is what happened. But in the Eastern Kingdom, which I think was almost taken over by Hannibal, uh, it wasn't conquered. And then eventually, Christianity ate the Roman kingdom from the inside out because people started to believe in Christ. And religion and evil, the core man, pain, used for control. Religion is evil, yes, but believing in God is not an evil thing. How you go about practicing that belief can be evil. So yeah, but nonetheless, the Council of Nicaea is the ones who wrote the Bible, and they were uh, under the tutelage of a yeah. Thank you. They were under the tutelage of a of the new emperor who was a Christian, and that emperor was anybody know the emperor's name? He was a Roman emperor. What was his name? He was the first Christian Roman emperor. What was his name? See if you guys know. That was a place named after him, but what was his name? Exactly. It was Constantine. Constantine became the first Roman emperor who was a Christian. And by the way, there were Roman emperors who were actually black too. So this whole white supremacy didn't start until current times, 1800s or whatever. It wasn't going on back then. Uh, but nonetheless, um, so he put together uh, the Council of Nicaea, who then put together the Bible. And of course, some books were kept out of the Bible. Why some books were kept out of the Bible, I don't know. I haven't studied that far and looked that far into it. But there's more than one holy book. I mean, if you guys really are trying to get into finding out who God is, that is a lifetime of work. It's not just reading the Bible. It's not a casual thing. It's a very pious and very humbling experience. Well, yeah, they're lying to us. Yeah, there's, well, the Gospels are offshoots of each other's belief. You know what I'm saying? Baptism, uh, Baptist, Protestant, uh, Apostolic, those are all different offshoots of pretty much the same belief. Listen, even the story of Christ was actually told by the Egyptians before Christ, long before Christ. And some of those stories were actually told all the way back to, sorry, I have a cold. Some of those stories were actually told all the way back to uh, the Tower of Babel. You have a lot of stories that we tell today about Santa Claus. They were talking about an experience that happened with the people who were building the Tower of Babel, who was Nimrod. Which, and here's the thing I don't get when people say you Nimrod. They're saying it like you're stupid. Like, do you know who Nimrod was? Nimrod was a great hunter. He was a great man, and he tried to build his way to heaven. And when he tried that, God saw that they were trying to build a tower to get to heaven, and he said, God said, if man can do anything pretty much that they put their mind to. Now, and then God came down. It says God came down. God got off of his perch and came down to stop man from building a tower to get to heaven. So is it possible to get to heaven? Absolutely. Is it possible to build a tower to get to heaven? Absolutely. Well, yeah, we're all under control right now. We're all under control. I don't care these computers, the food you eat, and well, yeah. But here's the thing. Here's what I believe about space. I believe that the space that we see is not as vast as they say it is. Do I believe that there is space? Absolutely. But do I believe that there is all these planets out there? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. According to what the Bible says, you have space. Okay, you have, this is what the Bible says: ocean, heaven, space, uh, dome, uh, earth. Yeah, I don't believe that they do. I don't believe the sun is actually some great ball of whatever that's millions of miles away and all this. I don't believe it. I don't. What it is, I don't know. But I don't believe it is what they say it is. I just don't believe it. You know, I don't believe it at all. Am I grateful for its power? Sure. But I don't believe it's what they say it is. I don't believe it's as far as they say it is. And I don't believe there's only one. You can't go to space. Here's one thing you can't do: you can't go to the moon. You can't because of the Van Allen belts, the radiation belts. So, yeah, I don't believe a lot of what they're telling us. Not whatsoever. But they try to feed it to us, and then we pay these billions of dollars into something that we know that is it's a lie. Yeah, and we know it's fake. We know it's fake. Hopping around like a damn idiot. Like, get out of here. We know it's fake. you know, and I'm gonna say something else. I'm gonna say this: our ability. Most people don't know that. That's because most people don't care if it doesn't affect their lives. That's really what it is. If it doesn't affect you directly, who cares if a man landed on the moon? I don't care. You know, who cares about angels if it doesn't affect you directly? This is what some goofballs believe. And above, so below. Exactly. There's an ocean above your head, and it's huge. Listen, there's an ocean above your head that is so vast. It's so vast that it could fill this whole world up in no time. It's above your head. Just drink that in. And listen, while you're thinking about that, think about this. It's above God's head too. Right. And that's why the sky is blue. There's a dome protecting us. There's a dome protecting us. And whenever God wants to open up, the holes in that dome, he will. That's just that. Yeah, we are. You guys are smart. Yeah, the Earth. I don't believe the Earth is 100% round, but I do believe it has a curve to it. Listen, the technology that we're using today has been used. As a matter of fact, we are ancient. That pizza, you know what? I wish I had a damn pizza, right? I wish I had a pizza right now. But oh, the Earth is a pizza. You think it's pear shaped? Like, oh, I don't think it is. I don't think it's. I just don't. Oh, you're asking. Just uh, you know, I okay. You're just asking my opinion. So just let me give you an opinion. All right, I'll draw out a shape, what I think the Earth is shaped like, and you're pretty much on with the pear shape. I'm with you. I'm with you with the pear, like the top of it. If you took the bulbous part, like a light bulb, and you cut off the top of it. So I'm kind of like, I think the Earth, it has a curvature to it, but this pen doesn't. Right. All the pens in the world in my house, and none of them. Yeah. I think it has a dome shape to it. Oh, you guys can't see that. It's gonna be a whack illustration, but it has a dome shape to it. I think it has a curve to it. I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna tell you something else, man. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. So there. Then of course there's us. Then there's us here. But there's this whole bottom. There's this whole bottom here. So I don't think that the bottom is a like it's a whole curve on the bottom. I think it's a whole city structure. I think that the bottom is built. This is weird. So you're gonna have land mass. Let me just. Okay, so you got some land mass, and you got whatever makes the Earth tick. We're not sure. People say molten rock, and all that, but I'm not so sure about all that no more. And the reason why I'm not so sure about that is because of recent activities where we're finding people who have found holes that go down for miles and don't hit anything. And then now you got one Mel's hole. If you ever seen the thing on this, I've been proven lying about the continents, and that more places the map that's only for the rich. Indeed. So I believe that there's I'm not gonna say a city, but I believe that there's something going on under us. Now, you have the whole gravity thing. Gravity is interesting. Scientifically, I don't know what it is, but just off of the experience of gravity and what it does in common sense, gravity holds things into place even if that thing is upside down, it could be right side up, even though it's upside down, right? You think gravity is built on sound. I never heard that before, but I'll take it. So, how so? Remember, when you write, don't write a whole paragraph because the phone will, write it and then speak and then write, write something, I'll speak, then write something. All right, so here's the dome. Here's us. Here's the earth, the inside of the earth, more oceans and all that other stuff. And then here's a city on the bottom of that and/or land dwellers. Remember, if this is gravity, then if gravity is such, then who's to say it ain't so? Who's to say that people aren't living under us just like we're living over them? And of course, there would be a dome there. But it's not necessarily round like, a ball. Electronic fields. All right, I'll buy that for $1. Electronic fields. Now, I thought you were going to talk about sound itself. But yeah, electronic fields too. But okay, so if we took electronic fields and says this frequency stops you from uh, being able to propel yourself in the air and stay there. Then, with that common sense, without dipping into the science, with that common sense, then there is an anti frequency. There is a frequency that permeates the frequency of gravity. And so far, we don't know what that frequency is. Hold on a second. Had to brush my teeth, man. I didn't like the way my teeth was feeling. Okay, so there's an anti-frequency. Now, we know that there were vehicles that were flying all over the planet. There was an internet long before we have what we have now. In ancient times, people, even in the Bible, it talks about how people would move from one place to another. We know that humans had the fields times force. Fields times force? Is that a mathematical equation? Well, anyway, so we know that people were able to move from one place to another quickly. Okay, So I thought you were going to lay out some fields times force times, you know, something equals that type of thing. So we know that people were able to move with magnificent speed from one place to another. We also know that people were able to move from this earth to other places within a blink of an eye. And they can still do this. We also know that the governing bodies don't tell us everything. And see, I think that the ability to do these things wasn't so much that you had to have a vehicle to do it all the time. I think the human body itself is able to do these things. And I've talked about this in some of my other videos. I don't get too much traffic on them. But nonetheless, in the Bible, 500 AD, you had a prophet, Men in Black, right? Right. And in the Bible in 500 AD, you had the book of Ezekiel. And Ezekiel said in the first chapter that he saw a spaceship. Here's what I think about the pyramids. I'm not sure if the pyramids could move, but who's to say they couldn't move? Okay, let's use some basic facts that what we know. Pyramids are everywhere. They're everywhere. They're in. They're on every single continent, and you have monoliths everywhere. What's going on, Vic? And you have monoliths that are everywhere. We know that these giant rocks are not hidden. All right. No, the pyramids were used like airports. Huh. Okay. I never heard that before, but all right, you can explain that. I'd love to hear it. But nonetheless, pyramids are everywhere, right? People believe that pyramids were batteries also. They were huge power cells uh, using, uh, creating some type of energy field. There you go. Yeah, they're generators. There it is. Okay, that's the way to jump in. That's how you. That's how you jump in the conversation. Jump right on in there and tell them what it is. Jump in there. Yeah, they're generators. Right. Nah, that's good. You tell them what it is. The pyramids were used to transport people to one part of the planet quickly. Right. They're located on ley lines. Oh no, you didn't. Just hit us with the ley lines. Okay, brother, go ahead and explain to us in like you got to write a little. Let us speak. Write a little. Explain to us what ley lines are. I know what a ley line is, but I'm not sure if the other two people on don't know what. Okay, let me ask this: does everybody know what a ley line is? If you don't know what a ley line is, just say you don't know, and the brother will explain to you what a ley line is. Right, right. But what else? But what were they used for? There's a couple things that ley lines were used for, and one of them that's most noted is magic. Ley lines are energy sensitive lines that span the globe. And these lines actually have been used for porting. Right. They have been used for porting uh, uh, beings
us and other beings, otherworldly beings, from one place to another. Meaning, if you could use a ley line and jump yourself from this dimension to another dimension, you could also port from one place to another. Yes, you could also port yourself from here to Mexico and be there in literally a second, just like walking through a door. Now, these ley lines are always active, and the majority of people don't know where these ley lines are. Hey, what's going on? You got Raptors? That's what's up. The majority of these ley lines, we don't even, like, you could be sitting on one now and don't even know it. And I need to check that out because, I've always been sensitive like that. Pretty much chakras for the planet. Okay, yeah. And, okay, who was that? Who just said that? Okay, yeah, Brooks, that's what's up. So, Hitler was very interested in magic. He's very interested in everything. Hitler was no dummy. There's one in Mexico City, Egypt, Washington, D.C., I believe. Well, I believe you could probably pull up a map and see where the ley lines are. But ley lines are very, let's just say if you don't know what you're doing, you don't want to mess with it. Because you could port yourself right into the middle of the ocean. And I'm not talking about in the middle of the ocean on top of the water. I'm talking about to the middle of the ocean and crack your whole frame in an instant. They can port you from one place to another. You can port yourself right into a volcano in the middle of a volcano. Not good. Not good at all. This is why, it's nothing to mess with. However, Hitler was angry at the Jews, and he was a conqueror. Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle. I knew a guy who went through the Bermuda Triangle, and he said time stopped. Huh. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, Hitler has a beef with the Jews. He couldn't stand them. Well, excuse me, the Jewish, not the Jews. Yeah, he had a legitimate beef with them for the destruction they created and still are creating. Uh, a lot of the wars that we're going through, it's because of the Jews. Excuse me, the Jewish. So, yeah. His methods I don't agree with, but his beef I do agree with. His methods, no. I don't believe in, slaughtering millions of people. I don't believe in that whatsoever. Uh, but I believe in kicking them out the country. You know what I'm saying? Giving them their own space. But I don't believe in, just taking millions of people who, truthfully, there's only a top percent who are the blame for it. You know what I'm saying? You just don't get everybody and say everybody's bad because it's just not the truth. Kids don't have nothing to do with it. Most people were just common people. They just happen to be Jewish. So that's it. I don't agree with that at all. If you're gonna go after somebody, go after the 1%. He did have a point. Well, to say you don't believe 6 million Jews died, would, okay, that's an open door, is what it is. I don't believe the earth is 100% round. The numbers probably are skewed. But do I believe a lot of people died? Yeah. Yeah. The numbers are skewed. But do I believe a lot of innocent? See, I believe. See, I don't believe because you practice a particular religion that you are the scourge of the earth. I don't, because a lot of what people practice have been passed down to them. So when we go after Muslims and say that Muslims are this, that, and the third, I don't look at the Muslims like that and say Muslims are bad people. I don't. I'm not. Well, we don't know how many Africans died during the slave trade. We have some numbers, 20 million. We know that Leopold himself killed 15 million people. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many people died in African. But did a lot of people die during that time? Absolutely. And we're still dying because of the African. Okay, peace. Thanks for stopping by. We're still dying because of the trade. You know?
Trying to figure out who exactly. Robinson Martel. Yeah, you got people that are still dying because of that. I mean, you got 3, 4, 500 black people dying every year. 10 million died in the Congo. Yeah, the Congolese were killed by Leopold. And then the AIDS epidemic, you know, that the Dutch used against us. Yeah, the Dutch came along and made AIDS and killing a bunch of people. They didn't care until it started killing white people. And all of that's going to come back to white people. Listen, white people aren't getting away with nothing. All of this violence that they've created and all of this, yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. Their numbers are dropping. White people are in trouble. Yeah, because they pissed everybody off. Everybody knows what you did on every single continent. Every single continent. The Asians can't stand you. You blew up their continent with 2 bombs on purpose. The blacks have just been trying to deal with you because we know we're outnumbered. But you keep killing us every time we pray for you and want to, have mercy and all that. And you're killing our kids. You're arresting our kids. You're shooting babies inside the bellies of the mothers. It's just, there's, it's going to be bad for them. It's going to be really, 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 really bad for white people. Yeah, the Tuskegee experiment, just to see what will happen. And what happened is it ate their brains out. I mean, they've done the most evil and heinous crimes. And they keep doing it. It's like, listen, Idi Amin, terrible. Emperors, terrible. Kings, Queen Elizabeth, terrible. We know that, all these monarchs, Yeah, we know all these monarchs and you know what I'm saying. All these people we're supposed to the Elizabethan age. We're supposed to. I don't look up to Queen Elizabeth. The only queen that I looked up to, and she wasn't even queen, was Princess Diana. Other than that, King Henry and all them, they're cheating on their wives right now. I don't look up. I wouldn't dare call any of them royalty to their face. I wouldn't say Your Highness to them. I'd be like, "What up, Henry? One of you just married a black woman. That's what's up, bro. Keep it up." Now we in there. You know what I'm saying? Now you gonna have brothers all up in the palace. What up, Henry? What up, Queen? What up, Queen? Uh. Yeah. I don't look at none of them like, oh, you're royalty. Get out of here, Queen. Y'all always wicked. Y'all was wicked, and a lot of your dynasty was built on my ancestors' backs. Get out of here with that. I don't look at none of these white people and go, oh my God, you're so great. I'll be like, heck nah. I just don't. But I don't look at them with enmity and with hatred either. Yeah, they stole everything. See, because that's some hatred that I would have to carry around. And I don't have the energy to carry that much hatred around. I just don't. I'm like, look, you got the Queen's Jubilee and she got billions of dollars. Look, y'all stole that money. The blood is on your hands. Y'all gonna have to deal with that when you leave this planet. I'm not. Heck, I feel guilty if I see a pair of boobs on TV, let alone kill millions of people, rape them, and then act like it never happened. Oh, I'm the queen. You're the queen of bones. You're the queen of charred children. You're the queen of bloody skirmishes that happen all over the planet. You're the queen of dead soldiers and ships that are wrecked with whole families going down. You're not the queen of anything great. Nah, none of y'all are. Nah, yep, nah. The Black Plague wasn't on accident. Who has a black woman pinned on her as a monarch? Huh. Well, they go. I mean, yeah, none of that fools me. Now, back in the day, I was like that. I was like, oh, okay. But I still never looked at the queen and was just like, yeah, you that deal. I just was just like, okay, Buckingham Palace, I saw it. Move on. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? I never knew what was so great about the freaking Mona Lisa. When I saw it, I was like, I've seen people in the hood do way better pictures than this. You know, you guys hyped this up like it was supposed to jump out at you and sing hallelujah. And I know some cats in the hood who draw way better than that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they got a black woman in there now. You know what I'm saying? She ain't all the way black, but she black. And the thing about it is, matriarchs and patriarchs marrying into uh, black, families, dark like me, darker than me, is not unheard of. Like I said, there were emperors. There was a Roman emperor who was a black man. You know what I'm saying? He looked up to Hannibal. You know what I'm saying? He went and got Hannibal's bones and buried it inside of the Roman walls. So it like This whole white supremacy movement is all false and it's all recent. It's very contemporary. You know what I'm saying? It's all recent because it just wasn't like that. When the Romans conquered, they didn't say because we're white, we're gonna go conquer uh, uh, Britannia. Okay, yeah, let us know. They didn't go to Egypt and say we're gonna conquer Egypt because there are black people here. They didn't do that. They divided and conquered simply because they were spread. They needed more territory, and for political reasons. And this is why some of them that died, they died in the most brutal ways because they slaughtered whole families, whole territories. They just butchered people just for political reasons, just because they could. So they're in trouble. I wouldn't want to be any of these Roman emperors. I don't look up to none of them at all. I would not want to be them. I would not want their power. I wouldn't, because my whole thought would be I wouldn't have a dividing. I would be a terrible emperor. People want us to look up to Marcus Aurelius. I don't look up to Marcus Aurelius. He did the same thing when he fought against the German tribes. He did the same thing. He went into conquer Germania. Why? For political reasons, to show power. I don't want to read his poetry. You took away men from their families, conquered whole areas when you could have simply traded with them. You could have traded with those just because you didn't know what they were saying. That's why they called them barbarians. They were Germans. And the thing about it is, they weren't all white. They were white and black Germans, and you killed whole families just to show a power? No, I'm not with none of that. None of that whatsoever. I just don't believe in mass murder for political power. I believe if somebody crossed your borders and start killing people in the village, then you're asking to get your ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? I believe in mounting up and going and, getting the guys who did it, go to your king. I want the guys who did it, like hoplites used to do that. Hoplites used to go into different villages and just raid the villages, take the little girls, and then, do whatever with them. Princess Michael Kent Penn. Okay. Uh, but hoplites used to do that. And they would do it to their own people. So I'm not with none of that evil. That's evil to me. I believe in trade. So I believe in trade and I believe in war when it's necessary. So what I send a bunch of, like, I believe in having a standing army, 100%, a thorough army. I believe in all that. I don't believe in being no punk. I'm looking at her now. Presidential of Kent. Yeah, I believe in all that. I believe in having a standing army. I believe in having a navy. I believe in having military intelligence and all that. What I don't believe in is mass murder just for nothing. If you provoke me, then yeah, I'm gonna send my dudes after you. But other than that, I believe in trade. That's it. And for the and for the skirmishes that did happen, I don't believe in going and just knocking out a whole kingdom just because of one skirmish. Not unless it was a large skirmish and they're just gonna keep doing it. I believe in getting the people who did it. I don't believe in knocking out a whole household. I believe in getting the people who did it and then, giving them the business. Take them off the planet and make sure everyone else understands this is what's going to happen to you if you come into our province, if you kill any of our people, if you do any damage to our property. This is what's going to happen to you. And we will always be at the ready. I believe in all that. I just don't believe in mass murder. I'm just not with it. She looks like she's up to something for sure. Yeah, she does. Especially in some of her pictures. Why does she have a brooch of a black woman? Huh. Sorry for wearing racist brooch. Huh. It's a racist brooch? Man, I don't care about none of their sorries. When the police do something and then they get to court and say they're sorry, I don't believe none of that. Oh, it's mockery. How is she mocking us? Man, they're gonna get theirs. They're gonna get theirs. They're not getting away with anything. But yeah. So white people aren't going nowhere. They're not. They're not going to white people heaven. I don't know what's convincing them to think. I don't know why, and I tell you, listen, for black people who are out here doing crimes, I think racism is taught. For black people who are out here doing crimes, they're gonna face the same judgment. They're gonna face the same thing. I don't think that the Lord is gonna be like, oh, bro, you killed those kids. Oh, it's cool, bro. Come on over here. No, it don't work like that. The president just pardoned soldiers who committed uh, uh, pretty much war crimes, killed people, and the president pardoned them. He's like, it's okay. We were at war. Yeah, the Lord's going to have his day. He's going to have his day, bro. He's going to have his day, and that's just that. That's why I have to straighten up and act right. Because I'll be wanting to do what the Lord say. But I'm a servant. That's it. I'm a servant. That's what I am. Sometimes I don't want to talk about Christ. Sometimes I want to look at, jigglies. God is like, hey. But, Christ meets you where you are. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, okay, Lord, take my desire from me. I pray that all the time because sometimes I have the desire to beat people up. And God is like, I don't want you getting into a fight. And I'm like, if this dude mess with my plan again, I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna beat him up. Well, I wouldn't have such a thing. I wouldn't do such a thing. Now, if I was a matriarch, monarch, I'm sorry. What was it? It's matriarch. Matriarch. Man, matriarch. If I was somebody in that position of power and I was paying homage to someone, and I was paying homage to another king, queen, prince, princess, and they happen to be another color, I would have something that represents them that they gave to me. That way, people would understand this is not something I did for mockery. This person, and then it would be public. It would be like one of those meetings, and then they would give something to me, and I would open it up, show everybody what it is, have the news look at it, and then they would put it on me. That way, nobody can say, "Oh, you put this on in mockery of Princess Suella, whatever." But like, nah, she gave it to me. Put it on in front of everybody at the festival, at the Jubilee, at the whatever, at the wedding or whatever. And I rock it because one, it's nice, and two, she gave it to me. And it shows our combined effort in making the world a better place. So I'm with that, but I'm not with the mockery. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not with the clowning, the mockery, the not with none of that. Yeah, Princess Suella. I don't know who she is. I just made up a name. But it sound dope, didn't it? You know what I'm saying? Princess Suella, man. Giving out pens. So that's the way I look at it. I don't try to but I'm not a monarch. I'm not a person in a position of power. But my whole thing is, this is why God didn't make me a king. Is because he knows that I don't like war. And to provoke me into war means that, like, when I come at you, I'm going to come at you. Like, I'm not like trebuchets, the whole nine, war horses. I'm I'm going to do something to you. Could you imagine if you went to Buckingham Palace and the Queen saw you? Who is the cat from Pittsburgh? What you mean? Who's what cat from Pittsburgh? I'm gonna start working on my book. I gotta work this week. I gotta go to work Wednesday. I gotta go to work Wednesday. Princess Suella. Yeah, man, I ain't worked in. Whew. Who's the cat from? I'm from Pittsburgh. Yeah, man. Yeah, but God knew what He was doing when He said, "Now I'm not gonna make you a, cause you're too nice. You're a nice guy. My whole family is like that, for the most part. We're very giving people. Yeah, Princess Suella. We're very giving people, but people run us over, and because we're not warlike, they think that they can just take advantage of us until we get mad. And then we start taking back our kindness. And we don't want to be nice to you anymore. We don't want to sup with you. We don't want anything to do with you. And then people get mad because you don't want them. You're like, you don't, you're not going to let them take advantage of you anymore. And that's probably what would happen if I had a kingdom. Yeah, she's nice. Some white woman from the province next door. You know, we always got we had issues with land, property. You know what I'm saying? She has cattle, I have wheat. And we like to trade, but you know, she got into the wheat business. So she stopped trading with us so much. So we got into the cattle business and we stopped trading. And we started trading with a neighboring country. And she don't like that country. So what she did, was figure, what you posting? What kind of link is you posting? So what she did was like, well, if I lose your revenue, that's one thing. But if I lose your friendship, that's a whole nother problem because my enemy of my enemy is my friend. So instead of us looking at the other neighboring country and doing most of our business with them, she decided to start doing business with us again. Yeah, it looks like it. No, this look like somebody I know. So she decided to start doing business with us again. And I was like, good choice. Because if you don't, and your enemy goes to war with you, you're going to be coming to me trying to figure out what side am I on. And if I stay neutral and they kick your butt, you're going to be pissed. So she came to our province and she decided to, you know, trade with me again. And she gave me that approach as a peace offering and a trade offering. And in return, I told the neighboring country, don't go to war with Princess Suella. If you do, I will not go to war against you, but I will financially support her. But I will not pick up sword to battle against you. And they know that with both of our income, they would lose. However, they have more soldiers than we do. So, yeah. So they decided to stand down and leave Princess Suella alone. And now everybody's happy because it all makes financial sense. See, that's how I would operate. I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to war with you. However, she's going to ask me for money for her navy. And when she does, I'm going to give it to her. But I'm not going to go to war against you. No, we're not doing none of that. Because if you guys invade us, you're going to see the full might. You come over here, you're going to see the full might. Other than that, we want peace. So let's trade. I'd rather trade and get things done instead of marching on people. That's just me, though. And then they'd probably say, well, your army's never seen a battle or never fought in a real fight. You don't know how to fight. I'll be like, our army has scouted out every single fight within the vicinity. Not only do we know how to fight, we know exactly who to fight. We don't only know how to, we know who to. And we have more people than you because we've noticed that your numbers are dwindling. The more you fight, the more your numbers go down. That's just that. See, I would be growing in technology. My whole thing would not be so much war. My whole thing would be technology. And of course, well, that's not always true. That's just a dying philosophy that the Jewish have. But that is just archaic and barbarian. Well, I don't even want to say barbarian because the the barbarians were Germanic tribes that only fought because they had to. But it's just a chaotic tactic to say, "Oh, let's start a war and let's get money." Nah, it's you can get money by tariffs and you can get money by trade. You can get money by embargoes and bargaining. You can get money by land. Yeah, yeah. You can get money by land, by hell, land bridges. You can get money by waterways. Oh my God, by technology. There's just so many ways to get money where you know what I'm saying. You don't even need to go and conquer other people, but because these people serve beings that love war, this is how they get their money. But they don't necessarily have to do it. Uh, but that's what they do. Crank it. That's what they do. Not me. I'm gonna trade and get that bread. Huh. Yep. They're gonna pay for it though. You will pay for it. Huh. All right, man. I gotta go. Battery's gonna die. Talk to you later, man. God loves you. So do I.